Hello, my lovely students. Let's continue in our lesson, the mechanical actions, part 2. Our objectives for today are identify the characteristics of a force, then measure the magnitude of a force using a spring balance. Let's start. Activity 1. In the adjacent diagram, this diagram, a spring is fixed to a support at one of its extremities and while its other end is free. So here we have a spring, okay, and the spring is fixed to a support. This is the support at one of its extremities, okay, and the other one is free. Okay, so it has two sides. The first one is fixed to the support, and the second one is free. Type. First, a student exerts a force F1 at the point of A1. So we have a student, he exerts a force at the point A1, okay? The force is called F1, and then he releases it. Type. Then another student exerts a force F2, فإذن هو the same spring here, okay? But the second student exerts a force F2 at this point here called A2, and the two forces are represented in the adjacent figure. So for student 1 exerts a force here. He starts the force here at the point A1, okay? He exerts a force to the left, then releases the spring. After that, the second student, the same spring, okay? يعني كان فلتوا هون أول student، إجا تاني student. He applied the force here at the point A2 to this direction here. Then he releases it. Okay? We should compare the forces exerted by the two students. We should know that the two forces are not the same. We have difference between the two forces exerted by the two students. So let's see what are these differences. First one, the force F1 exerted at the extremity A1 of the spring, while F2 is exerted at the point A2. Yani the point of application of the force is different between the two students. The first student applied the force here, while the second student apply the force here. يعني إذا لو إنه هون مثل ال A1 كنا قلنا نفس البوينت، كنا ما اعتبرناها difference. But because of the student start the force here A1, here no A2, okay, from a different place. فإذا F1 is exerted at the extremity A1 of the spring while F2 is exerted at A2. So we have two different point of application. F1 is horizontal. The line of action of F1 is horizontal, while here is oblique. Okay, so the second difference is the line of action of the force. The line of action of the force here is horizontal. The meaning of horizontal, يعني, like that. While F2 is oblique. Okay, so F2 is oblique and F1 is horizontal. Type. We have another difference. The direction of this force is to the left. Okay, while here F2 is directed here like that. Okay, down left, up, down, right, left, up right, up left, down right, and down left. So here the direction is down left because like that. Okay, so we have point of application, we have the line of action اللي هو horizontal أو vertical أو oblique, and we have the direction to the left or to the right, upward, downward, to the upright, up left, down right, and down left. Okay, so like that. Let's continue. the force exerted by the second student is stronger than that exerted by the first one. Why we say that? Because if you look here, okay, the spring is exerted to this place, okay, while here the second spring is exerted to here. Okay, so the force exerted by the second student is stronger. The second student is stronger than that exerted by the first one. Okay، يعني الفورس هون باينة أكبر لأنه عندنا كتير extension أكبر من هون. تمام؟ So can we say that a force has certain characteristics? Absolutely yes. The force has certain characteristics, and the characteristics are point of application, line of action, direction, and magnitude. Magnitude هي آخر فكرة اللي هي الفورس، يعني قوة الفورس. Okay. So what are the characteristics of a force? The characteristics of a force, point of application, the point at which the force applied. يعني for example, point A1 and the point A2 in the diagram. So هذا هذا بنقول لهم point of application. The line of action, vertical, horizontal, or oblique. Vertical أفقي, horizontal, or oblique. The direction, the direction along which the force acts, upward or downward, leftward, rightward, up left, up right, and down right. And finally, the magnitude is the measurement of the force, the power of the force. Okay, here we have 2 point of applications. Ali, point of application of the force applied. Ali apply a force here, okay, and Ahmed apply a force. The point of application of the first force is A, while the second is B. The direction here is to the left, and the direction here is to the right. وفينا نقول كمان right, down right. Okay, يمشي الحال. The line of action horizontal. Okay, can we say yes? We can say that the force is oblique. The direction, the line of action of the force is oblique. Okay. Finally, the magnitude. We cannot know the magnitude without a calculation, and we will see how can we calculate the force of or the magnitude of the force. So, how can we know the magnitude of the force? To know the magnitude of the force, we pull the hook of the spring balance and then we indicate its reading. We have an instrument used to measure the magnitude of the force. It's like a balance, okay? And this balance has a hook and spring. And we pull the hook of the spring. Let's see an example. The value given by the spring balance is the magnitude. Okay, like that. This is the balance. Okay, this is the spring and the hook. We pull the hook downward. Okay. بنبلش نلاحظ إنه we have a change in the value. Okay. محل ما بيوصل الفاليو بتكون هيدي الماجنتيود فورس. Okay. يعني بنعمل نحن هون pulling لتحت، فبيبلش عندنا ساعتها الارو يطلع بيوصل لمكان. طيب what is the magnitude of this force? 0 10 20 30 25 26 27. فإذا 27 الارو give us 27 newtons. طيب بس إذا ملاحظ هون في عندنا شيء 0.1 نيوتن. Here we have 0.1 newton. فإذا we should multiply the value of the arrow, okay, with 0.1. This is like the scale. So here we have a scale. The 27 here, I multiply it by 0.1 and we obtain the magnitude of the force. So in what unit the spring balance graduated? As we say, Newton. So Newton. What's the magnitude of the exerted force? 27 because the arrow gives us 27 Newton, and we should multiply it by the scale. Okay, 0.1. فإذا 2.7 newtons. This is the magnitude of this force. Understand? Let's do this application. Name the producer and the receiver of the force shown in the adjacent figure. The producer of the force اللي فينا نقول نحن الهاند, muscles of the hand, the human, for example, okay? Muscles of the hand. طب الريسيفر, the receiver of this force is the hook of the spring balance. As in this is called the balance, the spring balance, and we pull here in this point اللي هي شو هي spring الhook of the spring balance. So the receiver of the force فينا نقول نحن spring balance, فينا نقول hook of the spring balance. طيب. Identify the characteristics of this force. Let's start. Point of application is here, A. So point of application is A. The line of action is vertical. ليش؟ لأنه هيك هي. Okay. The direction is downward لأنه احنا we pull downward. And finally the magnitude. The magnitude is 4. Okay. The arrow gives us 4. And we should multiply it with or by 0.1 Newton. So point of application A, line of action vertical, direction downward, and finally magnitude is 4 times 0.1 Newton. Okay? And this is our lesson for today.